Hello everyone, welcome to Mary's Creative Decor. If you're a subscriber, I want to thank you for watching. And if this is your first time stopping by, make sure you become a part of the Creative Decor family. Hit the subscribe button and keep watching. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone is safe and doing well. I'm back in my kitchen and I'm ready to work on my countertops. Now, I chose today to start it because my husband is in the hospital having a procedure, and I'm going to be using paint with a chemical smell, and I didn't want to disturb him with that smell, so I want to get it done while he is there for a couple of days. So it's about 2:49. I know it's a late start, but I just got home from the hospital. He's had his procedure and is resting. So since I've removed everything, I'm going to put my dishes away and we're going to come back and I'm going to start to scrub down my cabinets with degreaser. So I've already sprayed down my cabinets with a degreaser and I have my abrasive pad and I just want to start to scrub them, making sure that I don't have any grease or grime left on the counter before we start our primer. I have the countertops degreased, cleaned, and rinsed. I just want to give them a couple minutes to dry and we'll come back and we'll be ready to sand. I have my little sander. I have 180 grit sandpaper and I just want to scuff sand the top of my countertops. This is just to get rid of some of the shine that's on the countertop, and this will allow my primer to adhere. And of course, you know, you can't just sand. You have to wipe away all the dust and the debris. Now that the cleaning is done, I have my tray, I have my roller, and I also taped out the edges of the sink so that I don't get paint. I'm using Ben's synthetic primer today, and this should adhere really good to the top of the countertop. I'm going to add one to two coats of it to make sure that everything is completely covered. This primer also dries within 30 minutes, so this is why I'm using this rather than the oil-based primer. So that now that the first coat is on, I'm going to let it dry, add a second coat, and then run back and check on my husband. So I'll see you in a bit. Hey everybody, I'm back. So now it's after 9 o'clock, and I left the hospital at 8, stopped and got me something to eat, and now I'm ready to paint my cabinet countertop. So I decided I'm going to use a Rust-Oleum epoxy enamel paint. And so I have put it in a tray already here, and I'm going to apply it with this nap roller. So we just want to get started. I want to get one coat on here. Now I'm opening up my door, and I have a mask here. I'm going to put this mask on because it's strong. It's not as strong as I thought, but it's still strong, and I want to make sure that I'm protecting my lungs. So I'm going to open my back door here and put my mask on and get started. Now, adding the epoxy paint is not a step that's necessary, but I'm adding the epoxy paint because I want my cabinets or my counters to be extremely strong. Also, I want to protect them because I'm not sure when I'll be ready to do my epoxy pour because of my husband. Okay, I don't know if I got it. I just looked at my camera and it wasn't on, so I don't know if it went off, if the phone rang or whatever to stop it. But I got my first coat of the Rust-Oleum epoxy paint, and it took pretty well. I'm gonna go get a little foam brush and get behind the counter where the roller don't reach. I'm gonna let this dry overnight, and we'll come back in the morning and add a second coat of this epoxy paint. I'll see you guys in the morning. So I'm back, and it's been a little over a week. I do have 2 coats of the Rust-Oleum epoxy paint on the countertop, and I'm happy I added it because it held up really well. And now I'm ready to do the resin pour on the top. Now I have everything all laid out. I'm using Stone Coat Countertop Epoxy, and I will leave a link for it in the description box below. Now for this epoxy, they said you need to use about 2 ounces per square foot. So I did the measurements, and I measured that it should take me about 58 ounces. So I got these cups, and they hold 4 cups. So I want to use 4 cups of both the A and the B for 1 coat. And that one will be my base coat that I'll add my color to. I have my paddle mixer here that I'll be using with my drill to mix it. And then I also have these little cups that I'm going to use the colors that I want to mix them in. So let's get started mixing up the epoxy. Now I'm going to take this larger container or larger cup and add my 4 cups of part A and part B. Make sure you scrape the sides of the container to get all of the mix. I mixed it about 3 minutes, and then I want to take just a little bit and add it to these 5 cups. These will be the colors, or actually 4 cups. And I'm putting a little extra in the 5th cup of the plain color. And this is what I want to use to make the design on my countertop. So I have my mica kit here. It came with a white, it came with black, and it also came with gold, copper, and silver, and a darker gold. So I want to use the medium gold, and I want to use a little black to make it turn gray. So it came also in the kit with these little brushes. So that's what I want to mix in the cup. And then I have this bag of white mica powder. And this is what I'm going to use in the whole lot, in the big amount. Because I want it to have that translucent white pearlescent on the top. So that's what I'm going to use first. So I'm just going to mix this up, and I'll use my paddle mixer to mix this in. And then in the cups, I'll just use a little popsicle stick. I'll just add a little bit of the mica powder to each one of the cups. I'm going to start with the copper, or the medium gold. This is the black, and I want to use just a very little bit of the black. Here's the silver. So here's my black, silver, gold. Now I just want to take the large amount of the epoxy. I want to stir it again with a stick to make sure that all my mica powder is mixed in. And now I just want to go ahead and pour it on top of the countertops. So I'm going to pour some in each section, dividing it about where I think it needs to be, and go from there. I'll use a glove hand to spread the epoxy over the countertop. I just want to get a little bit on before I start to add it. If I add a little bit, when I pour more on, it should just start to flow just like I want it to over the edge. Now, the one thing I didn't show you was the epoxy countertop paint by Rust-Oleum. And as you can see, it is shiny and it looks really great. And you really could have stopped there. However, you know me, I have a vision in my head and I'm going for it. Now that the resin is spread out over the countertop, I take a paintbrush. I make sure that I have no loose bristles. I take the back end of it and I tap it against the countertop. This helps to mix the resin again, as well as to help start to bring some of the bubbles to the surface. Now it's time to heat up my resin. I'm using a propane torch. Now what this does is will heat up the resin and allow it to flow more easily, along with popping those bubbles that came to the surface. Now it's time to take my color resin and I pour it on the countertop. This will cause veining. I use a popsicle stick to add those veins to the back of the counter. I use my hand to mix the color in. This will also help the resin to flow over the side. I then use 91% isopropyl alcohol to sprinkle on top of the countertop. This will help the micro powder that was used to sparkle in the resin. So all I'm doing just mixing a bit in my hands and sprinkling it about the countertop. Now you could use a spray bottle to do this, but I'm just sprinkling a little bit with my hands because I don't want a lot. I'm bringing the camera a little closer so you can see how the alcohol brings the glitter from the mica powder to the surface. And then I'll torch it one more time. And all this does is heat up the resin once again and get it flowing again. Okay, so I'm going to let this sit for about another 30 minutes, which will be about 2 hours in. The resin will flow just a little bit in the next 30 to 45 minutes. I'll come back. I'll take a popsicle stick. I'll clean up my edges and remove my tape. And I'll see you in the morning for the reveal. Good morning, good morning. I'm back in my kitchen, and of course my resin has dried. But I'm not quite happy with the way that it turned out. I was looking for a little bit more gold and something that was a little bit less busy. So I'm not going to keep this. There will be a part 2. I didn't do a top coat. So what I want to do, since now it's been 48 hours, I want to sand back everything, and I want to put another coat of white paint on, and I want my veining a little bit more softer. So I'm going to go in and show you what it looked like. Plus I got a few air bubbles on one side, and I think that's because I don't have light. So let me get the camera and I'll take you closer. So as we move closer, this is what it looked like. I love the sheen of it. I love the pearl essence from the white dust. But the veins here, they kind of look brown. I want them more gold, and I use the copper dust. So I want this to be a little thinner. So I want this look and this look, but I don't want this being so big. I love the gray or the silver veining, but I don't like the big brown type veining. And right here, I don't know if you can see, I'm going in as close as I can. There's a few air bubbles. I think you can see them right here. Where this is the dark part of the kitchen, so I'm going to get my light and put on it when I do it again, but I want to sand it smooth. So, and then here, I'm not digging the way this turned out in this area here. Here, I guess I didn't tape well. And here, it's just not the way I want it to be. So I'm going to do what I need to do to straighten this out. Over here, this, if all of it had turned out like this, I could live with. This is right here a little bit dark, but not so much. Back here behind the faucet, I can live with that area. And as we turn the corner and come over here, now this one, there is, like here, I didn't let my resin, I don't know if you could see it here, let my resin come all the way down. But other than that, it looks really good. This side is not so bad. I just don't want because it looks more brown, and I wanted the look to be a little bit more gold. And also, I don't know, something fell in my resin. You can see like little specks, baby ants or baby flies that fell in my resin here, there. So again, this is how it turned out. Like I said, not bad. Some people will be happy with that, but I'm not. So I don't want to do it all in one video. I want to try it again. So if you want to see how the second look turns out, you gotta come back. But right now, this is what I'm working with. So if you've enjoyed this video and the content, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And don't forget to come back to see how my new counters will look. I want to thank you all for watching, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. God bless. And I'll see you in my next video, which will be the continuation of this look. Bye-bye.